All right, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. We got a full agenda tonight, and before we get started, I wanted to take a moment and pass on and recognize that this past week we lost a important member of Salisbury history, former Salisbury City Council President Louise Smith. She was our council president from 2007 to 2011. She had a short, brief battle with cancer. Louise was 80. She was impactful on a lot of people. Me personally, she was a mentor, a friend, and she will be missed. So tonight's meeting, we are dedicating this meeting to the memory of former City Council President Louise Smith. And as we go into our moment of silent meditation, if we could remember Louise's family and friends in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. At this time, we have a proclamation, Disability Pride Month, and that is going to be presented by City Administrator Julia Glanz. Mrs. Glanz.
Good evening, Council, and we've got a good group of guests with us today, many of whom are here for this proclamation. I'd like to do a couple introductions if I can before I read the proclamation. Tim Mayer is the chair of our Disability Advisory Committee. Mike Dyer is a member of the Disability Advisory Committee going through, and Greg is a member of our Disability Advisory, and Dom Sesa, who is here as well, is interested in becoming a member. So hopefully you'll be seeing her name before you shortly. But really, Dom brought to my attention that it was Disability Pride Month. And she has some sort of an outlet of her own, a blog that she has, and she writes about what it's like to be disabled and bring attention to the disabled community. And so I thought it was really important to highlight that. So we're going to be we'll read the proclamation and declare July Disability Pride Month. But we'll be working with the Disability Advisory Committee and highlighting members this month and the important work that they do. And I think we've got great things in this proclamation. So, whereas July is Disability Pride Month, it coincides with the passing of the Americans with Disability Act, ADA, of 1990, and offers an opportunity to celebrate and strengthen the pride, power, and unity of people with disabilities, their families, and allies. And whereas disability pride has been defined as accepting and honoring each person's uniqueness, seeing it as a natural and beautiful part of human diversity. And whereas the annual observance is used to promote visibility and mainstream awareness of the positive pride felt by people with disabilities, pride that comes from celebrating their heritage, disability culture, and the unique experiences they, as people with differing abilities, lend and contribute to society. And whereas President George H.W. Bush signed the Americans with Disabilities Act into law July 26, 1990, to ensure civil rights of people with disabilities by establishing a clear and comprehensive national mandate for the elimination of discrimination against individuals with disabilities. And since signed into law, it has expanded opportunities for Americans with disabilities by reducing barriers, changing perceptions, and increasing full participation in community life. And whereas people with disabilities are the largest and most diverse minority within the population, representing all abilities, ages, races, ethnicities, religions, and socioeconomic backgrounds, and whereas the City of Salisbury works with its own Disability Advisory Committee, which was established on October 1st, 1991, by ensuring that those with disabilities have equitable opportunity to participate in, benefit from, and relish the opportunities their community provides, as the committee assists the mayor through advocacy, education, and referral in order to develop a broader appreciation and understanding of the attributes of people with disabilities. And whereas the City of Salisbury celebrates and recognizes the 30th anniversary of the passing of the Americans with Disability Act and the progress that has been made since 1990 by reaffirming the principles of equality and inclusion and recommitting city efforts to reach full ADA compliance. Now, therefore, I, Julia Glanz, City Administrator of the City of Salisbury, do hereby proclaim July 2020 as Disability Pride Month and in our city, and invite everyone to learn about the significance of this celebration for those differently abled and to advocate for more inclusive and accessible world. So thank you, Dom, for bringing that forward, and thank you to the Disability Advisory Committee for being here. I don't know if Tim, as our chair, wants to say anything. Put you on the spot, Tim.
Wow, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, City Administrator Glanz. I appreciate that. Thank you, Council President and members of the City Council, certainly for the opportunity to be acknowledged. We did come before you all a couple of years ago and present about the Disability Advisory Committee for the city and what we do. And taking in the moment of 30 years of the Americans with Disabilities Act and 30 years, and here we are, and the sky did not fall because the ADA was passed. There were many people who believed that it would. At that time, employers very much freaked out about what it meant for reasonable accommodation. But here we are, and we've survived it. We've still got a long way to go in many aspects. But for us here in the city, our focus continues to be on accessibility for employment, for housing, for all levels of accommodation for the various disabled populations. And certainly thank the members of the Disability Advisory Committee, both present and in the past. We have several agencies that have graciously supported and are members of the advisory board and have brought their talents and their skills to help move all accommodation for all various disabled populations in the city, and really continue to support that effort. And we are in advisory capacity to the mayor and to the administration for things that come up. So thank you very much for the opportunity to acknowledge the work that all these volunteers do across the whole spectrum of the city. And, we're one of the only ones really on the shore that have this kind of capacity and have had it for this number of years, back to 1991. And that's really quite a remarkable achievement for the city. And so it's nice to get that recognition. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. At this time, I will call for a motion and a second to adopt the legislative agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson?
Aye.
Ms. Blake?
Aye.
Ms. Gregory?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Jack, did you make it on? No, don't hear him. Okay. So that vote is 4-0. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Ms. Nichols?
Good evening, everybody. On the consent agenda tonight, we have the June 8th, 2020 closed session minutes, the June 15th, 2020 work session minutes, June 15th, 2020 special meeting minutes, June 22nd, 2020 council meeting minutes, July 6th, 2020 work session minutes, and the July 6th, 2020 special meeting minutes. Resolution number 3043, approving the reappointment of Andrew Bradley to the Building Board of Adjustments and Appeals for the term ending July 2025. Resolution number 3044, approving the reappointment of Edward Torbert to the Building Board of Adjustments and Appeals for the term ending June 2025. And resolution number 3045, approving the appointment of Benjamin Pheasant to the Human Rights Advisory Committee for term ending July 2024. And that's it for the consent agenda.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Ms. Jackson,
No, no comments.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory?
No comments.
At this time, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. At this time, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the award of bids.
So move.
Second.
All right, Mrs. Miller?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The first item this evening is a request to award a bid for contract ITB 21-110. It's the Ford F550 EMS units. The Department of Procurement received a request from the Salisbury Fire Department to purchase 3 Ford F550 Ultramedic ambulance units through Atlantic Emergency Solutions, utilizing the HGAC BUY Cooperative Purchasing Program. Per Section SC 16-3, the General Policy of Competitive Bidding Exceptions of the City of Salisbury Charter, competitive bidding procedures performed by the city are not necessary or appropriate in the following circumstance. That's when contracts in which the city receives a contract price negotiated by the state, county, or other governmental entity pursuant to a valid contract. This charter designation allows the City of Salisbury to participate in cooperative purchasing activities such as HGAC BUY. The Houston-Galveston Area Council is a unit of local government and a political subdivision of the state of Texas. All products offered through HGAC BUY have been awarded by virtue of a public competitive process. The contracts awarded by the HGAC board are then made available to local governments nationwide through the HGAC BUY Cooperative Purchasing Program. The City of Salisbury has previously purchased items using this program through the execution of an interlocal contract, which sets out the terms, conditions, requirements, and processes of the procurement. The contract pricing, terms, and conditions have been verified with a representative from HGAC BUY, and that's under contract number AM 10-18, ambulances, EMS, and other special service vehicles, and there are sufficient funds in the account noted in your packet to purchase the requested units. The Procurement Department requests Council's approval to award this contract to Atlantic Emergency Solutions in the amount of $1,230,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson,
None at all.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Ms. Gregory?
No questions.
I don't have any. Next item.
Okay. One moment. I have to scroll down. The next item is a declaration of surplus from the Salisbury Police Department. We received a request to declare several items surplus, which are either outdated or damaged. Where applicable, the city will dispose of the items that have little to no value and will recycle the ballistic vests. The Department of Procurement hereby requests Council's approval to declare the noted items surplus and proceed as warranted by the item and/or its probable value.
Any questions from the council? Ms. Jackson,
No.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Ms. Gregory?
No questions.
At this time, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the award of bids, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. 4-0. Thank you, Mrs. Miller.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Coming up, we will be having a public hearing. We'll start with resolution number 3033 to approve the South Division Street condo property annexation. At this time, I'll call for a motion and a second to approve resolution number 3033.
So move. Second.
All right, Mrs. Gland, can you present the resolution?
I can. Resolution number 3033, a resolution of the City of Salisbury proposing the annexation to the City of Salisbury of a certain area of land contiguous to and binding upon the southerly corporate limit of the City of Salisbury to be known as South Division Street condo annexation, beginning for the same point on the existing corporate limit, said point lying on the easterly right-of-way of South Division Street and also being the northwesterly corner of the lands of South Division Street condominium, continuing around the perimeter of the affected property to the point beginning containing all of map 048-parcel 0217 and consisting of approximately 3.03 acres of land.
Okay, at this time, I will open the public hearing. Is there anybody that is on the call that would like to testify in the public hearing? Not seeing anybody going once, going twice. Public hearing is closed. At this time, I will call for a vote on resolution number 3033. Or unless council has any comments, anybody have any comments to speak up quickly?
Well, this is Michael Sullivan.
Yes, Michael.
Just want to make a point to inform the city council that to my knowledge, I have not seen a copy of the annexation agreement executed by petitioner. The annexation resolution specifies that the annexation is conditioned on execution of the annexation agreement. And all that is required is that a public hearing regarding the annexation resolution be published in accordance with state law. To the extent, and I'll leave this up to Mr. Tillman, but to the extent resolution number 3033 be passed tonight, approving the annexation finally, that there be a clear reference made to the passage of that resolution being expressly conditioned upon the annexation agreement attached as Exhibit B, executed by petitioners.
Mark, did you want to weigh in?
Yes. Yeah, that absolutely. That should be signed by the petitioners before. So I have no problem with the proposal just suggested.
Do we need to do an amendment?
Yeah, I'm not sure where we get added. I don't have the thing in front of me right now. Mr. Sullivan, do you have a copy in front of you?
I do. If I may, I would suggest that an amendment be made to line 46 of resolution 33-03 to provide that the annexation of the property described herein shall be expressly conditioned upon the execution of the annexation agreement attached hereto as Exhibit B by the city and the three parties petitioning for the annexation of this property.
Mr. Boda, may I make a comment?
Sure.
Is this something that we could take back to our work session and work through more before we finalize it tonight?
Mark, you think are we okay to
Or is it okay? I mean, I just don't want to I just want to make sure we have everything that we're supposed to have.
Councilwoman, if I may, Michael Sullivan here.
Yes.
The petitioners have agreed to the terms contained in the annexation agreement as presented in Exhibit B. There
Okay.
would be nothing more to discuss because those are the same terms that were contained in the annexation agreement that was presented for council consensus at the work session at which this topic was first addressed. All that is needed at this point is for the annexation agreement to be signed by the property owners. I would suggest that if you were considering postponing your vote on resolution 3303, that you simply postpone it until the next regular council meeting, at which point the resolution will have been read for first reader, as it has been already. The public hearing on the annexation resolution will have already been heard as it's required by law. And all that will be necessary is for the resolution to be voted on for second reader. And between now and then, the annexation agreement will have been signed by the three property owners.
Actually, Michael, resolutions only get one reading. So like tonight was the reading, and then we always vote on a resolution. If it's an ordinance or a budget amendment, we do two.
For annexation resolutions, they've been introduced and passed on first reader. And I only mention that because of line 63 and line 64 of the resolution.
Yeah, this is, wait a minute. Can I be heard?
Sure.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was muted or not. I don't know. The way this works, the state law provides that this is done by resolution, but it's passed in the same way. That this is a unique resolution because it's a state resolution, but it's passed in the same way that the city passes other ordinances. So we do generally do an initial reading and a second reading for annexations. We've had several in the past where they came in.
Because actually, I'm looking at line 64, and this could be a typo where it says the above resolution was introduced, read, passed at the regular meeting of the Council of the City of Salisbury on June 8th, 2020. We didn't do anything like that on June 8th.
I don't recall. Can we check with the city clerk to see if this was part of the June 8th? I don't have that in front of me.
I'm gonna.
Okay, I'm checking now. Yes, it was.
Okay, so this is the second reading.
Okay.
Yes,
It was.
yes.
Oh, June 8th. How am I thinking July 8th? my fault. A month has gone by. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's right. It
What
was.
day is it here?
Man,
I feel you.
I need more coffee. Okay.
Nah.
So, so Mark, do you recommend that we do the amendment that he read?
Well, I don't, the answer is I'm not, I don't know that the fact that it isn't signed yet is detrimental to passing it from a legal point of view. I know that we recently had someone where an annexation occurred and then we had difficulty getting them to sign, but that's the first time that's ever happened. And I assume that's why it's been raised today. You know, these petitioners signed a petition asking that it be annexed, and you are approving the annexation agreement as well as the annexation itself. I think from a
Okay.
technical point of view, it doesn't matter if they sign it. I think when they asked to be annexed and they are annexed, it would just, if we got in a dispute with them about the contents of the agreement, that's where the problem might arise. But they asked for this, and this has been published, both the annexation resolution as well as the agreement resolution. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to add the language that Mr. Sullivan did, but I don't think it's legally necessary. So as far as I'm concerned, you can pass it tonight.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mark. Any other questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson,
Oh, no. No.
Mrs. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory,
None.
and I will call for the question. All those in favor of approving resolution number 3033, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. 4-0. All right. This time I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 3034 to approve the South Division Street condo property annexation plan.
So move.
Second.
Mrs. Glanz,
Resolution number 3034, a resolution of the City of Salisbury to adopt an annexation plan for a certain area of land contiguous to and binding upon the southerly corporate limit of the City of Salisbury to be known as South Division Street condo annexation, beginning for the same at a point on the existing corporate limit, said point lying on the easterly right-of-way line of South Division Street, and also being the northwesterly corner of the lands of South Division Street condominium, continuing around the perimeter of the affected property to the point of the beginning, containing all of map 048, parcel 0217, and consisting of approximately 3.03 acres of land.
thank you. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak during the public hearing, speak now. And hearing nobody indicating they want to speak during the public hearing, I will close the public hearing. Any questions or comments from council at this time? Ms. Jackson,
No questions.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory?
No questions.
We'll call for the vote on resolution number 3034. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you all. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 3046, which is a companion resolution to ordinance number 2588 that we enacted in April.
So moved.
Second.
Who was that on the motion?
Angela.
Gotcha. Okay. And Mrs. Glanz?
Thank you. Resolution number 3046, a resolution of the Council of the City of Salisbury entitled a resolution amending and supplementing resolution number 2160 adopted by the council on April 23rd, 2012, approved by the mayor on April 24th, 2012, and effective on April 24th, 2012, resolution number 2160, in order to authorize and empower the City of Salisbury to use and apply for a portion of principal amount of the $7,693,000 City of Salisbury Public Improvements Bond of 2012, issued on May 3rd, 2012, to projects identified herein as chemical building, HVAC, paleo, fluoride, room, door, and tank replacement, wastewater treatment plant outfall inspection and repairs, park aerator building improvements, and park water treatment plant roof improvements, in addition to the projects originally identified in resolution number 2160, and to identify the sources from which debt service of the 2012 bond allocated to such additional projects will be payable in the first instance, authorizing and empowering city officials and employees to take certain actions within respect to the 2012 bond, providing that the provisions of this resolution shall be liberally construed and otherwise generally relating to the use of proceeds of the 2012 bond.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson,
No.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory?
No questions.
I will call for the question. All those in favor of approving resolution number 3046, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. 4-0. This time, entertain a motion to approve resolution number 3047, accepting a donation from Route One Apparel.
So moved.
Mrs.
Second.
Blake, Mrs. Jackson. Mrs. Glanz.
Resolution number 3047, a resolution of the City of Salisbury to accept a donation of 100 masks from Route One Apparel for the Salisbury Police Department. Whereas Route One Apparel has donated 100 face masks, further described as 50 face masks depicting the Maryland flag emblem and 50 face masks depicting Old Bay food seasoning emblem. And whereas these masks are valued at approximately $10 each for a total of $1,000. And whereas the Maryland flag emblem masks have been authorized to be worn by Salisbury Police Department employees while on duty. And whereas these masks are not approved for protection against COVID-19, and the wearer will still need to take pre-established safety measures, i.e. social distancing, hand washing, etc., to protect themselves against COVID-19.
Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson,
No.
Ms. Blake,
Just a comment. It's just how nice that is. This donation is very nice, and I just think it just is another example of people coming together to do something good.
thank you. Mrs. Gregory,
No, I just love the idea of the flag masks.
Mrs. Glanz, I do have a question. Are the Old Bay masks not approved to be worn by the Salisbury police officers?
I guess they don't meet uniform standards over there. They must not like Old Bay.
All right. Well, Route One Apparel is a great company. They, if people don't know, they do a lot of Maryland. Mostly their products surround Maryland products. They very creative with the Maryland flag, which is of course the greatest state flag in our country. If you don't have a Maryland flag, your flag's not cool. So at this time, I will call for the question. All those in favor of resolution number 3047, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
I'm here, yes. I'm reading the
Blake?
notes.
oh, Ms. Blake,
Yes.
Mrs. Gregory,
Yes.
and the chair votes aye. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 3048, accept the donation of gym flooring from B&E Fabrication for Salisbury Police Department. Mrs. Glanz. Oh,
So moved.
so moved. Who's got a second?
We need a second.
Second.
Michelle.
And we got a second. Mrs. Glanz.
Thank you. Resolution number 3048, a resolution of the City of Salisbury to accept a donation of gym flooring from B&E Fabrication Incorporated for the Salisbury Police Department's physical fitness room. Whereas the donated flooring is further described as 200 feet of gym flooring to be utilized in Salisbury and Salisbury Police Department's physical fitness room. And whereas officers of the Salisbury Police Department need to be physically fit to perform optimally in the line of duty. And whereas the majority of Salisbury police officers exercise regularly to maintain their physical fitness. Mira, you're muted.
Any questions or comments? Ms. Jackson,
No, I'm laughing at you.
Ms. Blake?
Just once again, just how very nice people are. This is really nice to have a company donating this to our police department. And this kind of stuff just makes me smile.
Thank you. Mrs. Gregory?
No comments or questions.
And again, thank you to B&E Fabrication for their contribution. This is very much appreciated. At this time, I will call for the vote. All those in favor of approving resolution number 3048, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson?
Aye.
Ms. Blake?
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. It's 4-0. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2605 for second reading. This is accepting a donation and approving a budget amendment for the FY21 general fund budget to appropriate funds received from the Delmarva Power and Light for the City of Salisbury COVID-19 micro grant program. Mr. Tillman.
Thank you.
Oh, I need a motion. I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Tillman, you're good.
All right. This is an ordinance of the City of Salisbury to accept a donation and to approve a budget amendment of the it previously said FY21 general, which has now been changed to revolving loan fund budget to appropriate funds received from the Delmarva Power and Light Company for the City of Salisbury COVID-19 micro grant program. Whereas Delmarva Power and Light Company wishes to donate up to $25,000 to the City of Salisbury to be used for the COVID-19 business micro grant program. And whereas the funds received from Delmarva Power and Light Company will directly benefit businesses in the revolving loan boundary map that suffered losses in relation to COVID-19 state of Maryland executive orders and mandated closures. And whereas the City of Salisbury Office of Business Development requests that these funds in the amount of $25,000 be placed in the COVID-19 micro grant account to provide micro grants for eligible businesses. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salisbury that the funds of up to $25,000 are accepted from the Delmarva Power and Light Company, and be it further ordained by the City Council of the City of Salisbury, Maryland, that the city's fiscal year 2021 revolving fund budget be and is hereby amended as follows. Paragraph 1, increase revolving loan fund by $25,000. Paragraph 2, increase the revolving loan fund expense account by $25,000.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson?
No.
Ms. Blake?
None.
Mrs. Gregory?
None.
I do want to thank Delmarva Power for their
Yes.
contribution to this program. This is a very good program, and I think it's going to help some of those businesses that have been struggling. And this is reflective of the Shore as traditionally being a very giving community, and we appreciate their contribution. At this time, I would call for a vote to approve ordinance number 2605 for second reading. Ms. Jackson?
So move. I mean,
Ms. Blake? Oh,
Yes, I
don't
approve.
laugh.
is that a yes?
Yes, it is, Mayor, please.
Okay. Ms. Blake?
Oh,
Yes, absolutely.
Jesus,
Mrs. Gregory?
help me.
Yes, we need to get our stuff together. It is
And the
definitely
chair
Monday.
votes aye. 4-0.
We need
Thank
to
you
get that
all.
face to face.
All right. At this time, we'll accept a motion to approve ordinance number 2606 for second reading, which is accepting grant funds from the Department of Housing and Community Development.
So move.
Second.
in a second. Mr. Tillman.
Ordinance number 2606 is a resolution of the City of Salisbury accepting grant funds from the Department of Housing and Community Development, Principal Department of the State of Maryland, Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD, and amending the FY 2020 budget to allow for the transfer of up to $24,494.66 of the funds to the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, Inc., care of the Salisbury Folk Festival, for processing of approved categorized expenditures consistent with the grant in connection with the Folk Festival, and to allow for the expenditure of $12,505.34 for the COVID-19 Micro Grant Fund Program. Whereas the City of Salisbury in April of 2019 submitted an operating assistance grant to the Department of Housing and Community Development for financial assistance in carrying out community development activities, specifically to include assistance with the National Folk Festival to be held in the City of Salisbury. And whereas the City of Salisbury was recently awarded grant funds of $40,000 by the Department of Housing and Community Development, Principal Department of the State of Maryland, and signed the grant agreement on December 18th, 2019. And whereas the DHCD authorized the City of Salisbury to disperse grant funds directed to the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, care of the National Folk Festival, and considered that doing so was an appropriate use of grant funds related to the Folk Festival. And whereas invoices and proof of payments to substantiate funds directly transferred to the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, care of the National Folk Festival, is still required in connection with the grant. And whereas the National Council for the Traditional Arts, in collaboration with the City of Salisbury, announced the postponement of the 2020 National Folk Festival, and whereas the National Folk Festival incurred many expenses for the 2020 festival in advance of the postponement, and whereas pursuant to the operating agreement between the City of Salisbury and the NCTA signed in June of 2017, the city is responsible for the incurred expenses, and whereas the City of Salisbury desires to transfer up to $24,494.66 of grant funds directly to the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, care of the National Folk Festival, in order to allow the festival to be reimbursed those funds as outlined in the DHCD grant exhibits. And whereas $3,000 of the grant funds will also be used to pay the rent for the office space needed for the Salisbury Folk Festival manager. And whereas due to the postponement of the 2020 festival, there is money remaining from the DHCD grant. And whereas the City of Salisbury already has in place with the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District a memorandum of understanding to assist in the administration of the funds for the Salisbury National Folk Festival. And whereas the memorandum of understanding shall be amended by adding in a specific requirement for the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, Inc. to require it to provide full financial reporting in accordance with the DHCD grant to ensure that all grant requirements are followed and not violated, which shall also include indemnification language to protect the City of Salisbury. And whereas the City of Salisbury has submitted a reallocation plan for $12,505.34 of the remaining funds to be used in conjunction with the COVID-19 business-related micro grant program, and whereas DHCD is currently reviewing reallocation plans for the remaining funds, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salisbury, Maryland, that the DHCD grant award of $40,000 is hereby accepted by the City of Salisbury, and that the grant fund shall be utilized by the city in accordance with the terms and conditions of the grant, to include permission for the City of Salisbury to transfer $24,494.66 from the grant to the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, Inc. for use in connection with the Salisbury Folk Festival as outlined in the grant award, and $3,000 be transferred for the payment of office space rent for the Folk Festival manager, and the $12,505.34 from the grant be authorized for use as part of the COVID-19 micro grant program. Be it further ordained by the City Council that an amendment to the memorandum of understanding with the Salisbury Arts and Entertainment District, Inc. to identify the DHCD grant funds is also approved, and be it further ordained by the City Council that the FY 2020 budget is hereby amended as follows. Increase the Maryland Department of Housing Community Development revenue account by $40,000. 2, increase the office rent expense account by $3,000. Paragraph 3, increase the subrecipient SBY A and E expense account by $24,494.66, and increase the micro grant program expense account by $12,505.34.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson?
No.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory.
None.
At this time, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving ordinance number 2606 for second reading, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2607 for second reading, authorizing the mayor to sign a grant agreement and accept a grant from Chesapeake Bay Foundation.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tillman,
Okay, this is ordinance 2607, an ordinance of the city of Salisbury authorizing the mayor to sign the grant agreement and accept a grant from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation for the purpose of a tree canopy study and approving an amendment of the FY21 budget to allocate said funds for the purposes of implementation. Whereas the city of Salisbury is a partner with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation through a Healthy Waters Roundtable Work Group, and whereas the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and the city of Salisbury have been working together to improve the urban tree canopy throughout the city of Salisbury, and whereas the city of Salisbury desires to prepare a tree canopy study and assessment of tree planting opportunities, and whereas the project will enhance the environment for the city's residents and visitors, and whereas the Chesapeake Bay Foundation has awarded the city with a grant in the amount of $69,866.60 to provide for the tree canopy study, and whereas the city shall accept the grant in the form of reimbursements and transfer those funds from the reimbursement account to the capital projects account. Now, therefore, be it enacted and ordained that the city council of the city of Salisbury does hereby authorize the mayor to sign the attached grant agreement accepting the project terms for the betterment of the city and its residents, and accept the grant of $69,866.60 from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation to perform a tree canopy study, and further also authorizes grant reimbursements to be transferred to the appropriate capital project account. Be it further ordained that the city's grant fund budget be amended as follows: increase the FY21 Chesapeake Bay Foundation grant revenue account by $69,866.60, and increase the FY21 Chesapeake Bay Foundation grant expense account by $69,866.60.
thank you. Any questions or comments? Ms. Jackson,
No.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory?
None.
At this time, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving ordinance number 2607 for second reading, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Blake,
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2608 for second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tillman,
This is an ordinance of the city of Salisbury accepting donated funds from the Vane Brothers Companies in the amount of $1,000 and the Chesapeake Shipbuilding Corporation in the amount of $3,000 to be utilized as matching funds for the EDA grant, which has been awarded to the city, and amending the FY 2021 grant fund budget to appropriate these funds for the port feasibility study. Whereas the United States Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration has awarded the city of Salisbury $37,500 for the Salisbury Port feasibility study, and whereas the city of Salisbury is required to provide matching funds for the project in the amount of $37,500 for a total project budget of $75,000, and whereas the city has accepted donations from local business owners interested in having a port located in Salisbury and who wish to assist in the endeavor by providing a portion of the required matching funds, and whereas the Vane Brothers Companies has provided a donation in the amount of $1,000, and whereas the Chesapeake Shipbuilding Corporation has provided a donation in the amount of $3,000, and whereas the city has included the remaining matching funds of $33,500 in the FY 2021 budget in Schedule C, and whereas appropriations necessary to execute the purpose of the EDA grant must be made upon the recommendation of the mayor and approval of 4/5 of the council of the city of Salisbury, now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Salisbury, Maryland, that the city accepts the aforementioned donated funds to be spent as outlined in the associated EDA grant agreement attached hereto, and be it further ordained by the city council of the city of Salisbury that city's fiscal year 2021 grant fund budget be and is hereby amended as follows. Increase the port feasibility study revenue account by $4,000. Paragraph 2, increase the consulting fees expense account by $4,000.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Jackson,
No.
Ms. Blake,
None.
Mrs. Gregory?
None.
And I'd just like to thank the Bain Brothers Company and Chesapeake Shipbuilding for their donations to this, to have this, to be a part of the port feasibility study. At this time, I would like to call for the question. All those in favor of ordinance number 2608 for second reading, please signify by saying aye. Ms. Jackson? April?
Myself, Lord. I'm having a time here today.
You're there. You're good. Thank you. Ms. Blake?
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory?
Hi.
And the chair votes aye. Nothing. All right. Thank you. Mrs. Glenn, do we have any public comments?
I don't see anybody. I don't know the number 1708, who that person is, and just, if they would like to speak, they can say so. Otherwise, anybody else can unmute.
It's just Amy, Julia. I don't need to speak.
Oh, hi, Amy. It's not just Amy. It's Amy Krause from BISM. Thanks for being here, Amy. So it looks like, no, we don't have any public comments.
Okay, thank you. Council, we'll go down the line. Ms. Jackson?
Really don't have much to say. I'll just ask to continue to be safe. COVID is real. And just contain yourself and stay healthy.
Ms. Blake?
Well, it's been a great evening, really. We've had multiple donations. People donating things to our Salisbury Police Department. It's very kind. Micro grants. I like the way that we dedicate and allocate money to our arts and entertainment. The Chesapeake Bay tree thing, I've been waiting for that for a while to come. I'm very excited about that. And I, most of all, I really, really want to thank Julia and the disabilities group, task force, work group, and for the proclamation. And that is fantastic that we honor and recognize all of our citizens in Salisbury. That means a lot to me. And of course, like what I would say in any other meeting, above all, if you're healthy, please give blood. We're constantly low here on the Eastern Shore. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Mrs. Gregory?
Just very happy to see the Disability Pride Month. I'm very pleased to see that. As someone who has multiple people in our family with disabilities, it means a lot, especially one who just had a birthday this weekend. So, but also want to say that Black Lives Matter, and we are going to continue to do really good things in this community. The tree canopy study, I'm very pleased about as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Gregory. I just want to thank everybody for tonight. I think we made it through, and I think hopefully Jack will be proud of us. And also, I would like to say that I would think that Louise would be proud of us too. And she left a great legacy on the city, and she will be sorely missed. And our thoughts and prayers go out to her family and friends who are dealing with the loss. Again, I want to remind everybody to please support your local restaurants and businesses during this time. And they are open. They're doing carry out. You can still order and have beer delivered to your house from various restaurants in our city. So please take advantage of that while it's still legal. And Julia, do you have anything else for the good of the order?
Well, I just would like to mention that Andy pops on when we start talking about beer delivery. But in all seriousness, we had a really great event yesterday at Doverdale Park. our vulnerable populations working group that has been meeting for 10 weeks straight, which came out of COVID, and how to support those that may be more vulnerable to COVID, or the outcomes that COVID leaves in its path, like unemployment and things like that. So tons of community groups were out there socially distancing as best we could. Adopt a Block was out there with the food pantry, not the food pantry, Maryland Food Bank. There was groups giving out masks and hand sanitizer. The Wagner Wellness Van from the hospital was out there doing health screenings. Habitat for Humanity, United Way, we signed up or had about 20 people take the census that likely wouldn't have if that wasn't there. It was just incredible. We gave away 21 bikes, I think, in 6 minutes to kids in the neighborhood. And we've done a number of these, but this was definitely the largest and most holistic, and I think made the biggest impact. So that group, I think, realizes that we're going to have to continue to do this even after COVID and bring resources to our community members. So just really proud of that. And Tri Community Mediation is really leading this thing and keeping the pieces together. So thanks to Michelle and her team. But we'll let you know when the next one is, and hopefully everybody can come out.
Thank you, Julia. Appreciate that. And thank you to the team that came out and did that. We appreciate it. Without having anything else, our meeting is adjourned. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.